Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Logan, and for the past year, the majority of my videos have surrounded around this 23 new things series that I have been doing. So for my 23rd birthday last year, I gave myself the goal of trying 23 new things throughout the year that get me out of my comfort zone. 23 was the first age where I was, you know, out of college completely an adult, and I wanted to kind of keep that like zest and pizzazz that you have in college where you're constantly getting out of your comfort zone. So I gave myself that goal, and in a couple days I'm about to turn 24, so I wanted to do sort of a wrap up of all of the new things that I did this year and how it has impacted me. So if you want a more in-depth videos for any of these new things, I have them in my 23 series playlist. But I thought a wrap up would be great, mainly because I want to organize my thoughts and so that older Logan can see younger Logan. But yeah, if you haven't seen any of the 23 series videos, this video is perfect because I'm going to walk through all of the things that I did throughout my 23rd year of life, right before I turn 24. And even saying that is daunting, but I know that aging is also like such a privilege and it's so beautiful to age, but I always get super existential around my birthday. So okay, I am not doing these in order that I did them. I'm just gonna do it like in a logical order that makes sense to me. Okay, so the first thing I did was I went to a ballroom class with my friend Abby. So I grew up a dancer. I danced for like 16.5 years of my life, but I have never done a ballroom class, and as the Dancing with the Stars lover in me wanted, I grabbed my other dancer friend and we went to a ballroom class. The class that we went to is like a rotating class for beginners, so when you go, you don't know what style of dance it is, and the day that we went, it was the waltz. And we rotated partners and it was really fun. I already knew a little bit about waltz, so it wasn't super tricky to learn, but we want to go back and we want to do different styles, so that is something that we're going to keep up. I did this in the summer, so we haven't been back in a while because it's January now. Yeah, we want to go back and we want to take our friends and just do it every so often and learn a new skill, because ballroom is really fun. Second on the list is I did my very first Lego set, which is crazy that I've never done one before. But yeah, I'm not like I don't really like puzzles. I'm not big into any stuff like that, but I've actually really enjoyed doing Legos, and I got a new set for Christmas. It's flowers and I'm very excited to do it. I watch, you know, so many movies throughout the year, and a Lego set is a great way to like do something active while a movie that I have especially seen, if I've seen the movie, if it's a rewatch, something to do while it's on. Number 3 is one that I failed miserably at. So I have celiac and I'm gluten-free. So cinnamon rolls are a food, it's like one of like 10 foods where I just have not been able to find a cinnamon roll that like has the pizzazz of a gluten-filled cinnamon roll that I had growing up as a child. So I was like, let me try to make them. Maybe I can like replicate it and make it. Failed miserably. You can watch the video. I don't know if I didn't let the yeast rise. I don't know what I did. Could not even get them to roll. So that was a big failure, but it was very much out of my comfort zone because I do not like baking and I do not like cooking. On the topic of baking, I did bake a cake from scratch. My favorite cake in the world is, I think it's Pillsbury boxed strawberry cake. I grew up having it for my birthday every single year, and I wanted some for my birthday. So I made a cake from scratch. Well, actually, was this for my birthday? So for my birthday, I made the cake with like boxed vanilla cake, and I put strawberry flavoring in it, boxed gluten-free vanilla cake. But I had a competition, a baking competition at my work, and I wanted the same cake, but I needed to make it from scratch in order to morally feel like I could enter the baking competition. So I made the cake from scratch, and it actually ended up being really good. I do prefer the boxed cake, but that's because I'm not an expert baker. And yeah, you can watch how that went in my video. Next up is a game of golf, number 4. So all of my family members love golf. I did a golfing like camp, I think, when I was in like middle school, but we never played a full game of golf. It was literally only, what is it? Oh my god, what is it called? It was literally only like practicing hitting the ball, and we never did like a full set of holes. I love putt-putt, so I was like, let me try a game of golf. This is the time. I had family take me, and we did 9 holes, and I was insanely terrible, but I did improve over the course of the game. So maybe I have golfing talent in me somewhere, and it just has to be found. Number 5 was one that was on a whim, but still out of my comfort zone. My roommate brought home some pawpaw fruit that I have never had before. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna make this a new thing because it's a fruit that I've never tried, and it was delicious. Number 7 is I made some homemade lemonade. I am not a patient girl, which is why I don't like cooking or baking or anything where I can't immediately eat. So it was summery out, and I was like, you know, I love me some lemonade. Let me try to make some homemade lemonade, and it went well. I really enjoyed it. Felt nice to drink something that required me to work. In all of these like cooking and baking ones, I still don't love cooking and baking, but I do think that they have like allowed me to see that like maybe it is something that potentially could become something that I enjoy in the future. Like, I didn't despise doing the things while I was doing them. I think it's more so of like the thought of having to do it. But because I got to spin it in my head as something that was like out of my comfort zone and fun to do, I ended up really enjoying them. So I think the baking, cooking, and like the making lemonade ones have shown me that like, yeah, cooking is probably not going to be a hobby of mine, but I'm capable, and I can do those things that sometimes are frustrating. And like, maybe I have patience in me somewhere. Okay, next one, I think it's number 8, is something that I cannot believe I've never done. It's actually quite baffling. I attended my first movie by myself. I go to so many movies in theaters a year, and I've always been that way. It's like my favorite activity, and for some reason I have just like never gone to a movie by myself, which is crazy. And it's not like I've deliberately not gone to a movie by myself, but like throughout my whole life, movies were just a very like social thing for my family and for my friend groups, and so I just always went to the movies with people. But I got Cinemark rewards last year because I go to the movies so much, and I went to my first movie by myself. I saw Mickey 17, and it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it's something that I have kept up and will continue doing because watching movies is my favorite thing in the world to do. So why not go to the movies by myself? Okay, number 9 is I did rail bikes. So my roommates and I, we went to this place where you can ride bikes on a railroad, and we really didn't look that much into it. We kind of just went, and it was super fun. Very unique thing that is like perfect for something like this. Okay, next up is I went to the orchestra. I love anything live. I love live theater, live music, ballets, whatever it may be, I will go. So I got to see Ben Folds with the orchestra, and I already have booked orchestra tickets for next year. And I'm very excited. Without doing this new thing, maybe I wouldn't have found out that I actually really enjoy the orchestra, and I always want to go. Okay, next up is also on the topic of movies. It has been on my bucket list for a while to go to the movies and spend all day there for a movie marathon, and my roommate and I saw last year that they were doing all 4 original Hunger Games movies before Sunrise on the Reaping, the book, was dropped, and we were like, obviously we're gonna go. So we got there at noon, left probably around like 6 or 7, and we got to see all 4 original Hunger Games movies in the theaters, and it was like the best day ever. This next one was super out of my comfort zone because it's something that I know I'm not good at. And my friend Alex and I, we went to a painting class. We painted sunsets, and it was essentially just like a guided class that tells you how to do stuff. And during my class, I was so frustrated with myself because I could not make it look how I wanted it to look, but it ended up actually looking pretty okay. And it taught me that I need to chill and have some confidence in myself when it comes to things that I think I'm not good at. But yeah, the class helped. It helped me like actually learn how to do some painting techniques, and I would definitely do one again. Okay, Next up is probably single-handedly the biggest thing I did all year. It's probably one of the biggest things that I've done so far in my life. And I made the goal for myself to this year, because of 23 new things, take myself on a solo trip. So I have two videos on this, two very long videos on this, on my whole experience. But the Pacific Northwest has been on my bucket list since my travel bucket list has existed. I have always wanted to go. I think it is so beautiful, and it's unlike any other part of the country. And I was like, you know, this is the year. I'm gonna go. I really wanted to see Spirit of Halloween Town, the festival that they do in St. Helens, Oregon. I wanted to see Cannon Beach. I wanted to go on the coast, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I did a 4-day trip to Oregon, and I am very gracious to my parents for giving me the skills growing up to have the confidence to go on a solo trip. And now I've always loved doing things by myself, but now I really just love solo travel. It's so much fun and free, and yeah, it's great. I'm not gonna go into it in depth because I went into it intensely in the video, but yeah, I loved it. And while on this trip, I did 2 other new things. One being driving a rental car for the first time. I have never driven a rental car before, which I know is not that big of a new thing, but like going on a 5-hour road trip around Oregon in a part of the country I've never been in before, and it's like unlike roads that I travel on daily. In a car that I have never driven in was kind of scary, and it actually ended up being really fun, and I loved the car I had. I think it was like a Mazda. But yeah, it honestly made me feel so confident, like driving around 5 hours and having no problems, and like knowing what I was doing and seeing the beautifulness of the Pacific Northwest. And then the other new thing I did while on this trip was see a movie in a 1-screen. I have a lot of movie themed new things on here. But I've never been to a 1-screen theater before. But the weekend that I went on my trip to Oregon, I was in St. Helens, and they were releasing, it was the weekend that Life of a Showgirl came out, so the release party was in theaters, and their little Columbia Theater 1-screen that is featured in Halloween Town was showing it, and I went, and it was wonderful. Okay, the next 2 are kind of daring for me. I don't really do things like this usually, but I was like, we're gonna go indoor skydiving. As a list of new things this year. So literally my entire family, we went indoor skydiving, and it was so much fun. I still don't know that I would ever actually skydive. I think it would have to be very much like on a whim, we're going right now. I could never plan to skydive because I would never get myself to go. But indoor skydiving was great. It was really fun. Yeah. Also on the daring side is I went axe throwing for the first time. I've never done that before. We went to like an axe throwing place that's what they do. And yeah, I did not make it one time. And learned that I was honestly okay with that. I was not that frustrated that I was not that good at it. Just not my forte. I'm not a good axe. Next up is I got my first professional facial. I've never gotten a facial before, and I had a day off work in November, and I was like, we're gonna get a facial. Definitely, and I said this in the video, not something that I'm gonna do like super frequently, but I could see myself doing it, you know, a couple times a year just to like feel fresh. And it's so important to like pamper yourself every now and again, and I think that is one thing I really learned this year, is like it's okay to do things like that like make you feel good and confident. Okay, I really wanted to try a new fitness class this year, so I tried Pilates back in November, and it has actually been something that I have been continuing. I go a couple times a month, and yeah, it's something that it really connects me back with like being a dancer, and it's like the best workout ever. I love Pilates, and I'm so glad that I pushed myself to try it. On a similar note, the next new thing I did was I tried a boxing class. I went with one of my roommates who does these classes all the time, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely not something I would have done if I didn't have the mindset of doing new things this year. And surprisingly, actually liked it a lot more than I thought. Okay, we are getting to the end of this list. Number 20 is Blind Date with the Book. I am very much a library user. The books that I own, I'm literally looking at them right now, I think there's like 10 or 11, and if I own them, it's usually because I've read them, and they're some of my favorite books, and I will not usually buy a book if I have not read it. Hence why Blind Date with the Book is very much out of my comfort zone. But I was at a flea market and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and I actually ended up really enjoying the book. Okay, last two are actually things that I'm going to continue. So the first one is embroidery. You'll see in the video that I am not great at it, but it's a hobby that I really enjoy, and it's pretty mindless, and I just enjoy it. It's calming, and it's something that I want to continue and get better at. And then the last one is sewing, which is a skill that I should have, and I'm still not great at sewing, but I've done it, and I have a little bit of more background on how to do it and how to get better. So those are all of my 23 new things. It has been a year-long journey, and more than anything, I think doing these things has given me so much more confidence in myself. It has encouraged me to just try things for the fun of it, and if I suck at them, I suck at them, and if I really enjoy them, I really enjoy them, and if I don't, I don't. Yes, I am very glad that I gave myself this goal, and I am very excited to continue this mindset throughout every age, because I am literally about to be 24, which is wild. But thank you so much for following me along on this journey. I learned so much about myself, and yeah, happy 23 and almost 24. Oh, and happy 2026. Try a new thing this year.